What's up guys, it's Amateyo and today we're gonna dive into Tokyo Revengers episode 7. Now at the moment episode 7 is not yet released, but using anti-bullshit technology and level 5 prediction magic, basically using the manga, since the anime follows the manga very closely, I was able to come up with the plot. So if you can't wait for the official episode 7, then let's get right into it.
It has begun!
So Takemichi, Mikey, Draken, Pa, and Hayashi are currently having a meeting in an old building when suddenly Osanai, the leader of Moebius, arrives, and with him members of the Moebius gang. Mikey then states that Osanai brought a lot of people just to ambush some mid-schoolers and that Osanai is just as shitty as he thought that he would be. Osanai then tells Mikey that he can't hear him because he's too short. Takemichi then thinks to himself that Osanai is totally different from what he imagined. Takemichi then questions if the Osanai from 12 years in the future and the Osanai from the past are the same person, and what turned him into such a sad sack. Osanai then catches Takemichi looking at him and asks what is he staring at. He suddenly punches Takemichi and says, "You were looking down at me, weren't you?" He punches Takemichi again and says that he hates that look more than anything else. Takemichi gets a few more punches until suddenly Pa holds Osanai's hand. Pa then tells Osanai, "Your fight is with me, asshole." Takemichi then says, "Don't, Pa, don't fight with Moebius." Pa then shoves Takemichi and says, "Stay out of this." Hayashi then tells Takemichi that Pa isn't weak. He is somebody who fights teams solo and kicks their asses, and there's no way that Pa is going to lose to Osanai. Takemichi thinks to himself that that's not the problem here. If this goes on, then Draken will die. That means Hinata will also die. Takemichi wants to stop this, but the few punches from Osanai really had him shook. Mikey then says, "Takemichi, sit back and watch. This is Pa's fight." Sorry to say, but at this point Pa is really getting his ass whooped. Osanai asks Pa, "What's wrong?" And Pa replies, "Bastard, so you do a little boxing, huh?" Then suddenly Osanai gives Pa a punch right in the middle of his face, and boy was that a solid punch. Even though Pa is barely conscious, he says that punch couldn't even kill an ant. Takemichi thinks that Pa is losing it, and Hayashi thinks that Osanai is a beast. Hayashi then starts to run to Pa, but then Mikey says, "I said to sit back and watch, didn't I?" Hayashi then tells Mikey, "Sorry." Takemichi then says, "Mikey, how can you be so cruel? Pa's nose is broken and he's barely conscious. He can't even fight anymore. Pa's gonna die. You gotta stop this." Mikey then says, "Why? He hasn't given up yet." Takemichi sees Mikey smiling and thinks to himself, "How could you, Mikey? This is torture." Pa then continues to get his ass whooped. Osanai then says, "Hey, he just passed out standing up." Pa staggers, and as he's about to fall, Mikey catches him. Pa then says, "I'm sorry, Mikey. I'm such a..." Mikey replies, "What are you saying, Pa? Listen, you haven't lost." Osanai then says, "How the hell did he not lose that fight?" The members of Moebius then starts making fun of the members of Toman. Mikey approaches Osanai and Osanai says, "You want some, Mikey?" Hey guys, I would really appreciate it if you took the time to smash that like button and also subscribe for more content. Make sure to hit the notification bell and select all so you could see more of my videos. Thank you so much. Takemichi then thinks to himself, even Mikey can't take on a guy like Osanai. Osanai then begins to say, "You'll be dead in 10 seconds." Before he can complete his sentence, Mikey gives him a kick to the head. Everyone is then shocked as it appears that Osanai is knocked out from one kick. Mikey then says, "Anyone who thinks that Pa lost, step forward so I can kill you." Mikey continues to say, "Toman belongs to me. Anyone who's behind me will never lose." Moebius, who was just a second ago making fun of Toman, is now silent. Mikey then says, "Sorry, Kenshin, I couldn't help it." Draken then says, "Nothing stops you, does it, Mikey?" After getting a deadly kick in the head from Mikey, Osanai gets up with a broken bottle in his hand and charges towards Mikey. Draken then gets in front of Mikey, shielding him from Osanai. Osanai attacks, but Draken successfully holds his hands while giving him a knee to the stomach. Draken then says, "Osanai, I will tell you why you lost. You strayed from the path of a true delinquent. You attacked the guy's parents and raped his girlfriend. only something scum would do. He then looks to the moebius gang and says, "Hey, next time you try this shit again, I'll track down each and every one of you and kill you all myself." The moebius guys look scared and wonders if these guys are really middle schoolers. Draken then says, "Your boss was beaten by our boss, Mikey. Anybody got a problem with that?" The whole room is filled with silence as moebius says nothing. Draken then says if nobody does, then from now on moebius will be affiliated with the Tokyo Manji gang, and still moebius members says nothing. So Takemichi thinks to himself, whoa, they won. So this is how Toman got bigger and bigger. Soon after, we hear the song of sirens as cops begin to get closer. Everybody then starts to run away as no one wants to be caught by the police. As members of moebius was running away, Draken calls out to them and tells them that somebody has to carry Osanai. Takemichi then remembers that the Osanai from the future said that the conflict was just the start of it all. But Takemichi continues to think that he said that, but the fight ended without any incident. He asks himself, just the start? Am I missing something? So as soon as Takemichi says that, we see a knife and then suddenly Pa stabbing Osanai. And you can see from the picture, push, 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 that Pa took his time to make sure that the knife went in. Pa then says, "You're not getting off so easy, Osanai." Draken shoves Pa and says, "What the f*** are you doing, Pa?" And then everybody is shocked and surprised by what Pa did. Draken then says, "Quit standing around," then grabs Mikey and the vice captain. But Mikey says no, I won't leave him. Draken calls out to Osanai while the members of moebius are still shocked that he got stabbed. Meanwhile, the police are getting closer to their location. Pa then says, "I'm sorry Mikey, take care of the 3rd division for me. I'm giving myself up." Mikey then says, "The hell you are. Pa, come with us." Draken grabs Mikey and says, "We're all gonna get arrested." The police has now arrived and they caught Pa with some other members. So Hayashi, Mikey, Draken and Takemichi are all running from the police when suddenly Takemichi collapses. When Takemichi wakes up, he ends up grabbing something. At this point, I'm not sure if that's a mistake or all part of Takemichi's plan. Emma then calls Takemichi a perv, and of course Takemichi says that it was a complete accident. And it is then that Takemichi remembers that he passed out while running and that he is in a hospital. Takemichi asks Emma where's Mikey and the others. Are they all okay? Emma says that she got a call from Draken and when she ran to meet him, Takemichi was right there. Takemichi then asks about Draken. Emma then started crying and said that he and Mikey started fighting. Emma stated that she doesn't know why they're fighting, but it keeps getting worse. She further says that there's now a Mikey side and a Draken side. Now Toman has been ripped in two. It appears that everyone is fighting over whether Pachin should have been arrested or not. Takemichi then remembers what the future Osanai said and thinks to himself that it happened just like he said that it would. Emma then started crying on Takemichi's lap. She's very upset and confused about the division within Toman. Suddenly, Hinata comes in and says, "Takemichi, are you alright?" And of course, she sees this image of Takemichi and Emma. She then says, "What the? This is disgusting." And of course, Takemichi replies, "It's not what it looks like, Hinata." Is August 1st and Takemichi is currently at home, thinking about Toman being split in two. So far, everything that Osanai said is coming true, and on August 3rd, Draken will die. Because of Takemichi's injuries, he has been ordered to stay at home. He had so much free time that he completed a giant puzzle. Suddenly, Mokoto, Yamagishi, Akun and Takuya came to see Takemichi, but Takemichi states that he's all good now. Akun especially seems to be very worried about Takemichi. Yamagishi and Mokoto looks very interested in Takemichi's puzzle, in which Takemichi says, "Don't touch that. It took me 3 days to finish that." The two then says that he must have had loads of free time. Takemichi says that he couldn't help it. The doctor said that he couldn't leave the house. Yamagishi then says that moebius got totally destroyed. Takemichi then asks if Mikey and Draken have been fighting. Akun then says, "Yeah, it looks pretty serious. Toman is going to split in two any day now." Takemichi suddenly says, "I knew it." Then suddenly Akun and the other guys started laughing. Akun states that he was just kidding. "You got way too serious, Takemichi." Takuya says they're fighting, sure, but it's no different than usual. Yamagishi says, besides, Mikey and Draken would never get into a big argument. Suddenly, Draken comes to the door and says, who'd you say is arguing with who? And of course, everybody is shocked to see Draken. Draken says that he came to check up on Takemichi. Draken then says, man, it's hot as hell in here. Is it cause it's full of dudes? But everybody has gotten so stiff because of Draken's presence. Draken then says that he brought watermelon, so quit staring and sit down. Draken tells the guys that Pa won't get out for at least 1 year. Takemichi then asks about Osanai. Draken states that Osanai is alive, and if Osanai had died, then Pa would have been locked up until he was an adult. Takemichi then asks, how's Mikey? As soon as Takemichi says that, Draken slams his hands on the table, destroying Takemichi's puzzle. Draken responds, that bastard, he's so full of shit.
Shit everywhere.
But Takemichi was more focused on the puzzle that was just destroyed, and that's 3 days of work down the drain. Draken states that he shouldn't have to apologize for this, and Takemichi says, it's cool, I only spent 3 days losing sleep to finish it. Draken suddenly says, anyways, I'm going to sever all connections with Mikey. Toman is no more. Takemichi then says, what do you mean? You're kidding, right? Then Draken says, gotta go, and proceeds to leave. It appears that the other guys had no idea about the infighting within Toman. As Draken walks out, Takemichi says, wait Draken. He thinks to himself that it actually happened, that the infighting actually started, and if he doesn't do something, then Draken is gonna die. Takemichi then shouts, what do you mean Toman is no more? What's really going on? Suddenly, Mikey also appears at Takemichi's house. Mikey then tells Draken, what the hell are you doing here? And Draken responds, more like what the hell are you doing here? Takemichi's friends are freaking out and says that he's got the worst timing. Mikey then says that he came to see how Takemichi's doing. Draken replied, so did I. The two then goes into a childish back and forth conversation about who's Takemichi's pal. Mikey then says, you're in the way, good for nothing. Draken replies, you move, shrimp. Takemichi then shouts, hey wait a minute you guys. Then both of them glares at Takemichi saying, Takemichi's friends then says, he's trying to get between them. Does he have a death wish? Takemichi then shouts, I don't know what happened between you two, but you shouldn't fight, so calm down, both of you. Draken then grabs Takemichi and says, hey. At that point, Takemichi thinks it's too scary. He doesn't think that he can do it. There's no way that he can stop the two of them from fighting. Draken then continues to say, who the f do you think you are? Takemichi thinks to himself that they actually listened to him. But then Mikey picks up Takemichi's bike and throws it after Draken, in which Draken dodges. Takemichi states that that's his precious bike, Hayate. The bike smashes on the wall and is at this point ruined. Takemichi then shouts, my memories. Draken then says, are you insane? And grabs a bat. Takemichi then says, Draken, that's the golden bat I hit my first home run with in my 4th year of elementary. Draken then breaks the bat in half, saying, you wanna start something? I'll finish it. Then Draken and Mikey start throwing other things of Takemichi at each other. It then appears that they're about to fight. Akun says, poor Takemichi, what a disaster. Mokoto replies, it's like a typhoon. And Yamagishi says, you just have to wait for it to pass. It appears that Mikey and Draken had enough talk and was ready to fight, but Takemichi says, not so fast. Stop right there, you bastards. Akun then says Takemichi's lost it. Takuya also says he's f***ed now. And both Yamagishi and Mokoto salute and says, so long Takemichi.
Farewell!
Guys, thanks for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you smashed that like button and subscribed for more content. You could also visit my channel and check out more of my videos. And I hope you enjoy your day.